स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गुरुतिशे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण।
Hare
Proj,
Krishna.
actually, I wanted to know from you that these verses are going on in a series or like some random.
No, Prabhuji, we are doing in a series, not random. We have been doing from Canto 1, now we are in Canto 2.
Okay.
We are following a chronological order.
Okay. So,
And I was thinking also, instead of, I had written to you that you were to do 2 shlokas. I think 1 shloka is enough.
let's see, Proji, actually,
But we'll see.
complete
Okay.
2 slokas, then also it will be nice. Like, let's see, Proji, within 1 hour, how much you can complete. So it's like that.
Okay. So, welcome, Prabhuji, to ISKCON Eldoret. I think today we have very few devotees. Otherwise, they'll join. Maybe they are late from work and other service they are doing. Otherwise, we usually many devotees, almost 15 up to 20 on the Zoom. And we are so fortunate today. We have a new guest speaker all the way from ISKCON Navi, Dubai. And Prabhuji, we are so grateful to have you. And a little bit about Prabhuji is that he has studied BTech, and I think in 2012 he has done instrumentation engineering. He has 4-year experience in a steel industry firm, and he joined Brahmachari Ashram in 2016, and he has been practicing sincerely as a Brahmachari. That's amazing and very encouraging. And Prabhuji has been doing wonderful service in the temple. Among the sevas that he has been doing is devotee care and maintaining the guests or the guest care facilities within the temple. So Prabhuji, we are so fortunate to have you. Thank you so much to be part of our family, and we look forward to your association now and in the upcoming sessions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Proji. So, actually, Anand Murari Prabhu was supposed to give the class, and he told me that actually tomorrow he is having some deity worship, actually Mangala Arati worship and all that. So he said me to give the class.
Okay.
So it's like
Yes. Because
I
you are
don't
overqualified, Prabhuji.
know. Will I be able to justify this class or not? I don't know. So I would seek your blessings. So this chapter 10, we are actually chapter 10, verse number 31 and 32, second canto. Second canto, chapter 10, verse number 31 and
Yes.
32. These 2 slokas will be discussing.
Yes, yes.
So this chapter 10 begins with Sukhdev Goswami is explaining about the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he goes on with explaining about the Virata Purusa and how his desires and how this Sarga, about especially Sarga he's explaining. So it is this chapter's division is like that. From sloks 1 to 9. 1 to 9, Sukdev Goswami is speaking about the 10 subject matters and how the other 9 subject matters, they are concluding on one, and that is Asray. Asray, or the supreme shelter, or someone that it is saying. So actually, even Vyasdev has written all the 9 other subject matters just to justify one, and that is Asray. Asray, the Sammambanan. That the Supreme Lord is actually the source, is the ultimate source, and is the ultimate shelter. So ultimately, we have to reach, we have to take shelter of the Supreme Lord. So for that, Srimad Bhagavatam, this Vyasdev has written all the other 9 subject matters. They're especially Sarga, Visarga. Sarga is there in this second canto, and Visarga in third canto. Actually, Visarga, some part is there in second canto, like this in 10th chapter. After verse 35, from 36 onwards, creation of Brahma is given. When Brahma is creating, it is Visarga. Visarga means secondary creation. Sarga means primary creation. Then it is Sthanam. Sthanam is there in 5th canto, especially. When you read 5th canto, Sthanam means about the universe and where the living entities are given place to live according to their consciousness and according to their karma. So that is Sthanam. Sthanam means place. Then it is Poshanam. Poshanam means how Lord takes care of all living beings. So that is Poshanam. That is in 6th canto, where the Ajamil Katha comes. Then it is Utaya, Utaha. Utaha means the creative impetus. The creative impetus means how a living entity works according to his desires. And finally, the ultimate desire for a living entity is to understand that he is the servant of the Lord and to like serve him under the supervision of a devotee. That is described in 7th canto, where we see that how Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaks, they are engaged in fruitive activities, and Hiranyakashipu's son is engaged in the ultimate activities, that is bhakti. Then it is Manvantara. Manvantara Katha is in 8th canto. Actually, from 4th canto itself, Manvantara is because about Swayambhu Manu, it comes in, I think, no, in 3rd canto it comes about Swayambhu Manu. And his family only goes on till around 6th canto it goes on. Hare Krishna, my voice is audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
I would request the devotees to silent their audio so that while speaking I don't get disturbed. If you want to ask something, you can raise your hand. We'll take it. Otherwise, please keep your audio on silent. Okay. Then it is Ishanu Katha. Ishanu Katha means the topics about the various incarnations of the Lord. Devotees can keep their videos on, but audio should be off. And then Ishanu Katha is about the different incarnations of the Lord and the discussions about that, the activities they have done. Then it is Nirodha. Nirodha means, Nirodha is about the annihilation. Annihilation is there in 12th canto, especially in 12th canto it is there. Then Mukti is there in 11th canto, and ultimately is Asray. Asray means, that I have already explained, that the Supreme Person, that the Lord is the ultimate source and it is the ultimate shelter. So ultimately, he is the ultimate source and it is the ultimate shelter. So how this Asra and Asra is there in 10th canto, actually, the pastimes of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So in this chapter, actually, I was thinking that we can, one point we can discuss is that how Sarga, the primary creation, why Sukadeva Goswami is telling about this primary creation? Because Parikshit Maharaj was having only 7 days in hand. So Sukadeva Goswami could have explained different pastimes, or directly he might have gone to Ishanu Katha. Then why is telling about this Sarga, Sarga, Sarga or creation, which is a very complicated and difficult topic. So first of all, Parikshit Maharaj himself asks this question to Sukadeva Goswami to explain more about this creation. And when Parikshit Maharaj in the beginning, he asked that if what should a person do in general, and especially when a person is leaving his body. Then Sukadeva Goswami in the first chapter of this canto, of second canto, he explains that the person should go to a secluded place and meditate. He explains actually Ashtanga Yoga. It doesn't directly come to Bhakti. He explains Ashtanga Yoga, and he says that person should go to a secluded place and meditate upon the Virata Purusa. There he begins by saying about the Virata Purusa. And he says that if when one meditates on the Virata Purusa, what happens? All the impurities that is there in his heart, it gets purified. And ultimately he comes to devotional service, or he gets liberated. That's point he explains. Then again, in the same this second canto itself, in the 6th chapter, Lord Brahma explains about the Virata Purusa to Parikshit Maharaj. Sorry, not to Parikshit, to Narad Muni. There is what he says. First, Sukadeva Goswami is explaining about, he's saying that one should meditate on the Virat Purusa, the Virat Purusa form of the Lord. And in 6th chapter, Lord Brahma is saying that how everything in the creation is actually a part of the Virata Purusa. Lord Brahma is explaining it to Narad, how Dharma is the front of the Lord and Adharma is the back of the Lord, and all other parts. How sun and moon are the eyes of the Lord. And now in 10th chapter, Sukadeva Goswami is explaining how the creation is taking place by the desire of the Lord. First, he says that how one should meditate on the Virata Purusa. Then he says that how all the things in the creation are a part of the Virata Purusa, and now how this creation is taking place by the desire of the Virata Purusa. So what happens actually? So this creation and annihilation, it's an eternal process, because the desire of the Jivatma, especially Baddha Atma, is eternal. Because this desire is eternal. So and how this desires comes? The desires comes because of Agyana. Agyana means the eternal ignorance of the Supreme Lord. That is Agyana. And Agyana is a function of Maya. So because of this Agyana, a Jivatma thinks himself to be this body, and he desires to enjoy this world. And because of his desire, he does some karma, and because of that karma, he gets reactions, and again he gets body. But during annihilation, what happens? All the Jivatmas, they enter into the body of the Mahavishnu or Karanadaksha Vishnu. So nothing is there in the universe. Jivatma is entering into the Karanadaksha Vishnu. But because and at that time, the Jivatma is in Susupti state. Susupti means deep sleep state. So means he has even forgotten his own existence also in that state, deep sleep state. Sometimes when we sleep very peacefully, when you get a peaceful sleep, we forget everything. Means when we get up, we feel very fresh, because we say that Oh, the sleep was so nice, I didn't have any dream, anything. So Sushupti is that deep sleep. So when Jivatma is in the body of the Karandaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu, so he's in that deep sleep position. But because his material desires are not yet purified, or it has become pure, so he becomes agitated at what point? Because desires are not gone. And Supreme Lord, out of his mercy, he thinks to fulfill that desire. So what happens? The Supreme Lord creates the universe. This Mahavishnu creates the universe, and he enters into the universe as Garvadaksha Vishnu. But when he enters the universe, there is nothing in this universe. The universe is completely empty. So, and he has to allow the Jivatma to fulfill his desires. But the Jivatma to fulfill his desires, what it requires? It requires a body, it requires senses. So then now the Garvadaksha Vishnu thinks of creating this desires of creating these elements and the senses and all that. Because otherwise, how the living entity will get a body? First, the Supreme Lord has to desire. The Supreme Lord desires. But problem here is that Garvadaksha Vishnu is spiritual. He is not material. He is spiritual. And all these creations of this universe are material. So he takes a form. And that, what is that form? That is the form of the Virata Purusa. Like Jivatma, when it is inside a body, it is called the controller of that body. Jivatma is called the controller of that body or that field. You have read in Bhagavad Gita. So now what is that? So Jivatma is the controller of its own body, but the Virata Purusa is the controller of all the bodies. So if Jivatma is considered to be a microcosmic Purusa, so Virata Purusa is the macrocosmic Purusa. That's why he's called Virat. Virat means macro. So in that sense, first a material form of the Lord is created, and that is Virata Purusa. And the Virata Purusa then desires. And as the verses goes on from 2.10 itself, that he desires, and first the Virata Purusa does creation in three bhavas. Three bhavas means three moods or three forms. He does the creation. What does these three forms? They're Adidevika, Adibhotika, Adhyatmika. What is Adidevika? Adidevika is the presiding deity or the controlling authority of the senses or the elements. What is Adhyatmika? Adhyatmika is the controlled being or the self or the Jivatma. And what is Adibhotika? Adibhotika is the gross senses and the material elements or the material objects. So this is Adibhotika. So this little bit complicated, but in the end we can have some question answers, then it will be more clear. Then what happens? Adidevika, Adibhotika, Adhyatmika. These are the three classifications in which the Virata Purusa is doing creation. And this is what is called, this is Sarga, the primary creation. The Virata Purusa does the creation, and in this, Sukadeva Goswami speaks about this till slok or verse 30. Till verse 30, he speaks about how he desires and how this different elements come into being, different senses come into being, different sense objects come into being. And they are categorized in these three categories: Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhotika. The gross objects or the gross senses, they are Adibhotika. The Adhyatma or the person is the self is Adidevika. Adhyatmika. And the presiding deities are the Adidevika. This, in this sense, this creation goes on. And all the three, these three are interdependent. Nobody can exist without any other, like nobody can work without the existence of the other thing. Like, for example, when the Supreme, the Virat Purusha desires to see, so he desires to see, then what he creates? He creates these eyes. So here, the eyes are actually what? Eyes is Adhyatma. And what is Adibhotika? Adibhotika is the objects that the eyes will be seeing. And what is Adidevika? Adidevika is the presiding deities of the eyes. And who is the presiding deities of the eyes? It's sun. Sun is the presiding deities of the eyes. Without sun, we cannot see anything. So sun is, and our eyes has some part of the sun. That's why we are able to see. If that part will not be there, even if our eyes are there, but still we cannot see. We see that some people are blind. They are having eyes, but still they are blind. How? Because that the power of that presiding deity, the sun, it is not there. Okay. And even if the sun is there, but if you don't have the eyes itself, then also we cannot see. The sun is there, the objects that to be seen are also there, but eyes is not there. Then also you cannot see. And similarly, sun is not there, eyes are there, and the objects are there, still we cannot see. And same, sun and eyes are there, but none of the objects are there. Then also we cannot see. So these three are interdependent. And what the Virat Purusha is, what is not dependent on all this, but is independent of all this. And ultimately, what is Virat Purusha? Virat Purusha is the form that is that the yogis meditate upon. So we can say it as Paramatma. And what is Paramatma? Paramatma is a amsa of the Supreme Lord. So ultimately, everything, even in Sarga also we are seeing, everything is ultimately going to the Supreme Lord, or ultimately everything is taking shelter of the Supreme Lord, and ultimately everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. So this part is clear. Now we'll come to today's verse. What today's verse is speaking, actually, this 31st and 32nd verses, these are speaking about how the parts of the gross and the subtle body. About these things, there, these two verses are speaking. So Prabhuji, is it possible that we can share the screen? Possible? Or the verses?
Yes, you can share, please.
I can share. No? Okay. So we'll see this verse. त्वाक्षर्मणां रुधिर मेधमज्जस्ति धातवः भूमियपि तेजोमय सप्त प्राणो वयाम्भु वायुभिः. So this translation, if anybody can read, I think it will be nice. Somebody can read the translation, probably.
Translation?
Yes,
Yes,
I can read
the translation.
The
Yes, ma'am.
7 elements
Anybody
of
can
the
read.
body, namely the pit. Okay, I want to read the translation, then someone else can read the purport.
Okay,
The
Prabhuji.
7 elements of the body, namely the thin layer of the skin itself, the flesh, blood, fat, marrow, and bone, are all made of earth, water, and fire, whereas the life breath is produced by the sky, water, and air.
Okay.
Purport, someone?
Someone can read the purport.
I read it, Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji.
The construction of the whole material world is prominently made by three elements, namely earth, water, and fire. But the living force is produced by sky, air, and water. So, water is the common element in both the gross and the subtle forms of all material creation. And it should be noted herewith that due to necessity, water being most prominent in the material creation is the principal element of all the five. The material body is thus an embodiment of the five elements, and the gross manifestation is perceived because of three, namely earth, water, and fire. Sensations of touch are perceived due to the thin layer on the skin, and bone is as good as hard stone. The breathing air of life is produced of sky, air, and water, and therefore open air, regular bath, and ample spaces in which to live are favorable for healthy vitality. Fresh produce from the earth, like grains and vegetables, as well as fresh water and heat, is good for the upkeep of the gross body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, here Sukadeva Goswami is saying that 7 elements of the body, these 7 elements actually make up the gross body. So what is this? The thin layer on the skin itself, the flesh, blood, fat, marrow, and the bone. And these 7 elements, they are made of the what? Earth, water, and fire. So first, the thin layer on the skin and the skin, these are two different things. So this thin layer on skin is called twacha, or twak, it is said, twak, and the flesh is called charma. So these two have different activities. The layer, the thin layer, it has different activity, and charma has different activity. The skin, it has different activity. So what is the activity of the layer? That the sensation of touch, it is felt by this twak. And what is charma? The itching sensation, that is felt by the charma. It is in third canto it comes. So these are, and the presiding deity also for these two are different. For twak, the presiding deity is Vayu, and because it is sensation of touch, so that Vayu is the presiding deity. And for charma, it is Osadi. Osadi, or the trees. Trees are the presiding deity. So this so Bhagavatam is so particular. And then it is the flesh, blood, and fat, and marrow, and bone. And in this especially, Prabhupada is saying, what Prabhupada is saying that he is explaining how we can maintain a healthy body by this. So what he is saying, fresh produce from the earth like grains and vegetables, as well as fresh water and heat, is good for the upkeep of the gross body. So if you want a healthy body, then Prabhupada is saying that we need to get what? We need to eat fresh grains and vegetables. So saying that we should avoid processed food, and we see that how eating processed food has led to so many bodily problems. So Prabhupada is, so we can say, one sense is so Vyavaharik, where he is so practical. His purports are so practical in nature. Because how he's connecting, let's see, Sukadeva Goswami is saying about this gross body, and how, from where this gross body, these elements of this gross body have come, and Prabhupada is connecting with how to keep our body healthy. In one sense, Prabhupada is so much also, it shows that how much compassionate is. So he's saying that we should eat healthy, like fresh grains and vegetables, fresh water, and heat. Where there is all these 3 things are taken care of, then body will be healthy. And the second part, what Sukadeva Goswami is saying about the life air. So life air, the life breath is produced by sky, water, and air. So there also Prabhupada is saying, for a healthy vitality, what all 3 things are required? Open air, regular bath, and ample space. So if there is open air and regular bath. So sometimes when we feel very weak, once we take bath, again we get rejuvenated. So this regular bath is very important to keep, even to keep us in goodness. So if we don't take bath regularly, then we go to ignorance, especially passion and ignorance, especially to ignorance. So it is for devotees, it is good to take bath. If you feeling, even if you are feeling something negative also, if you take bath, it is a very practical thing. We might have seen ourselves also. If we take bath, then we feel fresh. And ample space also, it is Prabhupada is saying, because this life breath, it has sky, water, and air. So sky is considering about the space, so ample space. So if there is no ample space, if there is a lot of congestion, so we see that in cities especially, how people are unhealthy than in villages. In villages where there is a lot of space, especially in India, in Mumbai, so much congestion in Mumbai and Delhi. People, because of this congestion only, their mental health and physical health is going down. So this especially this last lines of Prabhupada are very encouraging and very practical. So we can, at least to some extent, we can follow these things. So we'll go on to the next verse, text 32. So गुणात्मकानिन्द्रियाणि भूताधि प्रभवा गुणाः मना स्वर विकारात्मा बुद्धिर्विज्ञान रूपिणी. So anyone can read the translation apart from Prabhuji. Anybody else who has not read can read the translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I can read.
Okay, Mataji.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The sense organs are attached to the modes of material nature, and the modes of material nature are products of false ego. The mind is subjected to all kinds of material experiences, happiness and distress, and the intelligence is the feature of the mind's deliberation. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Somebody else can read the purport. Someone else can read the purport.
Hare Krishna purport.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Illusioned by the material nature, the living entity identifies with false ego. More clearly, when the living entity is entrapped by the material body, he at once identifies with the bodily relationships, forgetting his own identity as spirit soul. This false ego associates with different modes of nature, and thus the senses become attached to the modes of material nature. Mind is the instrument for feeling different material experiences, but intelligence is deliberative and can change everything for the better. The intelligent person, therefore, can attain salvation from the illusion of material existence by proper use of intelligence. An intelligent person can detect the awkward position of material existence and thus begin to inquire as to what he is, why he is subjected to different kinds of miseries, and how to get rid of all miseries. And thus, by good association, an advanced, intelligent person can turn towards better life of self-realization. It is advised, therefore, that an intelligent person associate with the great sages and saints who are on the path of salvation. By such association, one can receive instructions which are able to slacken the conditioned soul's attachment for matter. And thus the intelligent man gradually gets rid of the illusion of matter and false ego and is promoted to the real life of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Sukadeva Goswami is explaining about the subtle body, and he's saying that first he's saying about the sense organs. This saying that the sense organs are attached to the modes of material nature. So the sense organs work according to the modes of material nature. The different modes in which the person is, the sense organs will act accordingly. And the modes of material nature are products of the false ego. So these modes, they are coming from the false ego. The mind is subjected to all kinds of material experiences. And the intelligence is a feature of the mind's deliberation. So what should the mind do and how to do it is told by the intelligence, buddhi. So how it acts, actually, first need to see one verse from Bhagavad Gita, verse number 40 of third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga. So it is saying that the hierarchy of our sense organs, mind and intelligence and soul. So it is saying first is the gross material objects. Above that is the sense organs. Above the sense organs is the mind. And above the mind is the intelligence. And above the intelligence is the soul. So this is the hierarchy. Means the soul, through its intelligence, should control the mind and the control the mind and the senses. So this is the actually the procedure. But what happens because of the false ego and because of our ignorance? What happens? The mind, the intelligence of the soul should be the instructor of the mind. But what happens? It becomes the instrument of the mind. So what is mind? In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that mind actually is the works according to impulses, and it is the storehouse of our happiness and sorrows. So if you do some activity, if you have done some activity in the past and it has led us to some pleasure, then mind remembers. And same in the similar way, if some activity has taken us to some displeasure, then also mind remembers. And mind, if mind always goes towards those activities or always pursues towards those activities that gives one pleasure. Like in mobile, when we search something, when you continuously search something, then the search engine also it records that thing. And what happens, even if we write one single letter, it shows the entire statement or entire that subject. Sometimes it happens. So similarly, the mind also stores the things, and it discriminates that this has given me pleasure, so it acts according to short emotions and impulses. But what is the activity of the intelligence? Intelligence actually, it acts according to this. It acts according to the scriptures or regulations. It regulates the mind. But if we take the example of this, Prabhupada gives the example of this chariot. So what happens if the senses are the 5 horses, the rope is the mind, the charioteer is the intelligence, and the person who is sitting in the chariot is the self or the soul. So if intelligence is weak, means if the charioteer is weak and the senses are driven away, then what happens? The chariot goes here and there. And this same thing, it is said in Bhagavad Gita also, second chapters, slok number 67. It is saying, what Krishna is saying? Krishna is saying that as a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away a man's intelligence. So intelligence got carried away, gets carries away. So how to stop that? How to stop the intelligence from becoming an instrument of the mind? How to make it an instructor of the mind? So what is the instrument of the mind and what is the instructor of the mind? So when this intelligence is strong enough, then when the mind thinks that one mind feels like going for an impulse that is not good, then what the intelligence says, no, it is not good. You should not do it. It will ultimately lead you to problems. So this is like intelligence working as an instructor. But if the intelligence is working as a instrument of the mind, then what happens? Then when the mind does some bad activity, some wrong activity, the intelligence tries to cover it. Through intelligence, a person tries to cover it. And this is a demoniac nature. This is the nature of the demons. They will do a wrong activity and they will cover up. They will try to cover up through their intelligence. And they will take pleasure that we have done the mistake also and we have enjoyed it and we have covered it up. And this will ultimately, what will happen? This will ultimately lead us to hell. Or even in this life also, if we don't control our senses and mind, then also, then a point will come when we'll be forced to do a wrong activity. What Arjuna asked Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that what is it that forces somebody to do, forces the person to do a wrong activity? And it is easy to control the air, but it is difficult to control the mind. So how to make our intelligence stronger? So this is what Prabhupada is saying in this in his purport to this verse. Prabhupada is saying that that to take association of the devotees. Before that, I need to say another thing, that here's Sukadeva Goswami is saying the sense organs are attached to the modes of mental nature. And the modes of mental nature are products of the false ego. So this, I'll tell you a story. You might have heard the story, but let us, because this is very much related to this point. How the sense organs are attached to the modes of mental nature, and how because of false ego, even a person in goodness, he can also fall to ignorance. So this is about Lord Indra. So when Indra, once he got cursed by his guru Brihaspati because of some misdoing, improper behavior towards his guru, he got cursed. And the Brihaspati told that you will become you are not eligible to remain as king of the demigods. You go and become a hog. So he became a pig in this metal world. And when he became a pig, he identified himself with the pig only. So much so that, so when Brahma, he got the news that Indra is not there and there is a lot of chaos in the universe. So when Lord Brahma got this news, so he said, where is Indra? Then he got the news that Indra has taken the body of a hog because he got a curse from Brihaspati. So when Lord Brahma, see, Indra is the chief of the demigods. He's everyday seeing Lord. So he is in goodness. But still he could, because identifying itself with the body because of false ego, even he got the body of a pig and he identified himself with the pig only. So when Brahma went to Indra and said that you are the chief of the demigods, you are the king. What are you doing here? Indra said, no, I have a family, I have my piglets, I have my wife, and how can I leave them? Lord Brahma said, "Arey, foolish fellow, you are there in the heaven, and what you are doing in this world, and that to a pig that has smeared all over his body the stool and urine, and he's happy with that." This is the power of false ego. Just imagine. And then Lord Brahma killed all its children, his wife. Then Indra came to senses. So I am here as a pig. And then he again came back to his position. So this is so much dangerous. If Indra can become like this, what to speak about us? So Prabhupada is giving the best example, that is association of the devotees. So even in there are some nice pastimes if we see in our scriptures. Even a momentary association of devotees also can be very encouraging and can be not encouraging, can be very vital in our life and changing the mode of our life from going to hell towards Krishna. So there is a story about Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj, as you know, he comes in 9th canto. He was a great devotee of the Lord. So he was having a brother who was extremely sinful, and he was not listening to anything. He was only doing sinful activities. So Amrish Maharaj, being a devotee, was very much concerned about his brother. So he felt that no, I should help my brother, but how? So he asked Narad Muni. Narad Muni, he said that please help my brother, otherwise he's going to go to hell for eternity. So then Narad Muni, okay, he said, okay, I'll go. So when Narad Muni went to that fellow, the brother of Amrish Maharaj, he started shouting at Narad Muni, who sent you to me? Go get lost from here. And he started throwing some stone or what he was drinking, some drink or wine, something, and he was throwing that bottle also on Narad Muni. So Narad Muni, before going away, Narad Muni said that, okay, I'm going now, but just remember one thing. When you get into danger, when you will go to Yamraj, just ask him that if one gets momentary association of a devotee, what happens? So he just, okay, you get lost from here. But that word of Narad Muni went into his ears. So finally, this fellow died and he went to Yamraj, definitely. So Yamraj asked that, has this fellow done any good thing? So the Chitragupta, one who records all the activities of people, he said that no, only one good thing happened to him, that he got association of Narad Muni. That is the only one thing. So Imra said, because you got association of Narad Muni, so I gave you one last wish to say. If you have any desire, just speak it out. I'll try to fulfill. So otherwise, I would have not asked you anything. I would have directly sent you to hell. But because you got the association of Narad Muni, you can ask on anything you want to ask or anything you want to say, you can say. That time, this fellow remembered that what Narad Muni has said, and he said that he asked this question, that by momentary association of pure devotee, what happens? Of a devotee, what happens? So Yamraj said, I am so much into this and giving punishment to these bad people. So no good people come here. Only those who go to hell, they come to me. So I have never, I don't know about the answer. If one gets a momentary association of devotee, what happens? So, but I can take you to Brahma. I think Brahmaji can give answer. So Yamraj took this fellow to Brahma. So Brahmaji said, I am so much engaged in this creation that I also don't know about this answer. Only I think Shivji can say. So that these two, Yamraj, Brahmaji, and this fellow, these three went to Shivji. Then Lord Shiva said, all my associates are these ghosts and the spirits, those who all do bad activities. I have given them my association. And I don't know this answer. I think Narayana can give the answer. So let us go to Lord Narayana. So they went to Vaikuntha and they asked Lord Narayana that this person is asking this question and what is the answer? Lord Narayana said that the answer is he gets Vaikuntha. So, and he escorted by such great Vaishnavas at Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva and Yamraj. These three of them are Mahajan, and these three Mahajans are escorting this fellow who was such a he has done all bad activities throughout his life to Vaikuntha. This is the actually association, power of association. And we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita also about how this Mrigari was a hunter, how he got the association of Narad Muni and he got delivered. And the most recent example is Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, how their association, how Srila Prabhupada's association. has changed the many, how the hippies become the happies. So this is the this example we can see right now happening in front of our eyes. We ourselves can be testament for that. So, and with this, I want to just say a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says a very nice thing. This is from Madhya Lila. Madhya Lila, 22nd chapter, text 14 and 15 of Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this: Kama krodher dasa hoya tara lathi khaye, भ्रमिते भ्रमिते जदि साधु वैद्य पाए, तारो उपदेश मात्रे पिशाची पलाए, कृष्ण भक्ति पाए तबे कृष्ण निकट आए. काम क्रोधेर दास होया तारो लाठी खाए. A person by becoming a servant of kama and krodha means servant of lust and anger. What is happening? It is getting the beating of lust and anger, because if somebody becomes a servant of lust and anger, it gets beating of this material world because of that. Brahmite brahmite jadi sadhu vaidya paye. But that person, after millions of, or after many lifetimes, going through many lifetimes, if gets the association of a sadhu vaidya, sadhu means a devotee and vaidya means a doctor. So why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that he gets association of devotee doctor? Because devotee is just like a doctor who actually treats our material disease. This material thought process, or karma, or lust, or anger, it's a disease. And who treats it? The devotee can treat it. Tara upadesa matre. And by listening to the upadesh means the instructions of the pure devotee. Pisachi palai means the our material thought process goes away. Krishna bhakti paye tabe Krishna nikat aaya. And he becomes, he gets Krishna bhakti, or the devotion to Krishna, tabe Krishna nikat aaya, and goes near Krishna. So by associating and taking instructions of the devotee and following it, only association won't do. So Prabhupada also in this verse purport, in the last line, he says that if by chance a person meets a saintly person who works on the Krishna's behalf to deliver conditioned souls, and if agrees to abide by his order, he can gradually approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So this thing is also very important. Even if you get association, but if you don't agree or if you don't abide by the order of the devotee, then also it is of no use. If we will not get will not change, or will not go near Krishna. So we'll summarize. So first we discussed about how Sukadeva Goswami is speaking about the 10 subject matters, and how the 9 other subject matters ultimately are meant to focus on one point, that is the 10th subject, that is what is Asray. Asray means that the Supreme Lord is the ultimate source and the ultimate shelter. So everything we should ultimately we should take shelter of the Supreme Lord. In that we discussed how Sukadeva Goswami, when Parikshit Maharaj asked him this question, that what should a person do at the in general and at the time of death especially, then Sukadeva Goswami says him to meditate on the Virata Purusha. And and then again Brahmaji also speaks about how this Virata Purusha is actually how this creation is a part of the Virata Purusha. And in this chapter Sukadeva Goswami again speaks that how everything happens by the desire of the Virata Purusha, or ultimately the Supreme Lord. Without his desire, nothing can happen. And then we come to these 2 verses in which especially the elements of the gross material body and the subtle material body, these 2 things are discussed. And in the purports, especially in the first when Prabhupada is speaking about the 7 elements of the gross material body and the live breath, he speaks about how by how we can lead a healthy life. Prabhupada speaks. And in this this 32nd verse, Prabhupada is speaking about how by association of a devotee, we can purify our intelligence, and by that we can purify our senses and our mind. So this is all about these 2 verses. Hare Krishna. So anybody has some clarifications, they can ask.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you very much for an excellent class today. And thank you, Prabhuji. You are joining us from Mumbai. It must be very late there, probably after midnight. So we are really, really grateful for your service. Prabhuji, just a clarification. The presiding deities of both the outer layer of the skin and in the skin are different. I didn't get the presiding deities. One was Vayu of the outer layer, and for the charma,
It's Osadi, Mataji. Osadi means the trees, the
trees.
medicinal plants, like that,
Oh,
in that sense.
oh, okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Over to you, Priya Govind Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, anyone with a question? Because Prabhuji is running late. He may fail to wake up for Mangalati if he sleeps late. I think
So
no one.
was it clear, Prabhuji? Actually, I don't know how much I justified this 2 topics. Was it clear to everybody? You got something at least?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you
Yes,
so much
Prabhuji.
for the good session. Yeah, thank you. And you very nicely you connected the the creation, the Sarga bit, and then the Virat Purusha to the Paramatma, and how it is the Lord who desires, and without his desires we cannot do anything. And then you brought it to the gross elements, and then the subtle body and the mind. So thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay. So
Yes.
shall we end, Prabhuji?
Yes. So we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace SriManohar Prabhuji. And as you said, the power of association, we can feel it. We can feel the power of association, as you have told us. And you have quoted Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So this association with the sadhu is very, very important. So Prabhuji, we are looking forward to have your association once again, hopefully next week. And you are welcome. So thank you so much. And kindly let us unmute ourselves and chant 1 round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the glorification of His Grace Sri Manohar Prabhuji. Kindly.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhishya
Panchakarpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha
Vacha
Patitanam
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namo.
Namo Namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you. Hare
His
Krishna.
Grace
Grace
Sri Manohar
Sri Manohar
Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you.
Grant us Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Bhagavatam
jai.
ki
Pura
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Tushar Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. He's just got up to do
Hare
another
Krishna.
service. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for organizing today.